Hello, everybody. Welcome back. This week we have Marwan on the phone with us, and also via joining us via Zoom. I just want to take a second to welcome him to the show. So, Marwan, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me, Tony.
Absolutely. So let's dive right into it. If you could start us off with a one-word open, what would that be? And that way the audience can know how you're feeling in this moment right now using one word, and tell us why you're choosing to open up with this word.
Hopeful.
Like
and hopeful because it looks like despite all the latest numbers on COVID, it looks like maybe this is the last episode. and and hopeful because there's a lot of things that are going on with the business that are awesome setup for 22. So overall, I'm hoping that this will be a great year.
Awesome. Now, if you could take the next 3 to 5 minutes, tell us about your business, tell us about your timeline, how you started, where you are at today, and where you're kind of heading, and then give us a little insight into your background as well. That would be great.
Yeah, perfect. So I started Veem in 2014. I used to run e-commerce for Western Union. Got into Western Union through an acquisition of a company called eBillme, which I founded and sold to them. Veem is really a way to make it really simple for businesses to pay and get paid, domestic and cross-border, payables and receivables. It's basically, the vision here is when you go to buy coffee in the morning, you don't think of how you pay, you just do it. Whatever you have in your wallet, cash, card, mobile phone, whatever it is that you pay with, your mind is somewhere else. Your mind is in email and family and things you're gonna do during the day. Payments is such a habitual thing, you just do it. When you start doing business payments, in particular, if you're doing large transactions, whether it's domestic or cross-border, it goes from really simple, something you don't think about, to complex, something you have to plan your day around. You gotta figure out when to wire the money and how much fees and how much foreign exchange, and if I'm doing it domestically or cross-border, when is the cutoff time? So it adds a lot of complexity to the business. And small businesses, they're just busy operating their business, and the last thing on their mind is how payments work. So we wanted to really simplify this whole thing for them. And so we created a platform where you can do your accounts payable, accounts receivable, domestic and cross-border, all in one login, all around the idea that we're going to simplify, delight, be transparent, and make it really, really easy for you to focus on your business, not on the headaches of making payments. That's why we started Veem. That's the vision of it. Does that help?
Yeah, absolutely. Where were you when you had that aha moment that you said, "Hey, I want to launch this company"? Where were you? What were you doing? If you don't mind telling the audience.
Well, so I had my company sold to Western Union. I had stayed there for a couple of years. I left, and I was simply taking some time off. And one of the things I was reflecting on is when you start doing cross-border payments, it was insane the amount of time and effort required to get these payment systems functional across all these different countries. And it's a big world. There's over 200 countries we deal with and currencies. And so we wanted to, it struck me at the time that there's gotta be a simpler way to do this. Fundamentally, as the economy becomes more global with the rise of e-commerce and the rise of remote work and gig economy, there really should be no difference between domestic payments and cross-border payments. And that's why this idea came from, that there's got to be a simpler way to operate payments in general and take the friction out of the system for small business users.
I see. Just to go back down memory lane, I don't know, at the time that you were dealing with Western Union, do you remember the gentleman by the name of Doug McNary who used to run Western Union?
Sorry, well, when I joined, it was Hikmet who was the CEO.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, earlier, like I think 15 years ago, Doug McNary used to run Western Union when he came over to First Data and all that good stuff.
Yeah.
So I remember working with him back in the day. It was it's a small world. So
small world, yeah.
See if you, yeah, absolutely. Let's shift over to some wins. Can you share with us a recent win that you encountered in your business, and tell us your takeaway from it too?
So there's been a slew of announcements we've done before the holidays, and they're all like really interesting wins. So I'm gonna use them all as a bundle. We did a relationship with Visa where we're going to help business owners that have funds available with Veem to put that on a Visa card that they could use anywhere Visa is accepted. So that's a really good commercial relationship with Visa. We did an integration with a company called Q2, which is a public company that allows Veem to be integrated into the Q2 platform. They service 450 banks. So when you log into the bank, you would be able to access, the small business would be able to access Veem within the banking environment. We did a similar deal with a company called Repay, which is also another public company, RPAY, the stock symbol. They're using us for foreign exchange. We're working with them on card issuance. This is all around the same theme. And maybe that's the win here is that, for businesses to scale and to become large, you at one point need to shift from direct selling to more emphasis on distribution and partnerships. And we're in that phase where partnerships and distribution in general is going to be a key angle for us. We've been doing direct selling, talking straight to the business owner for a long time since we started the company. We're now going more and more into the broader sense of distribution. That's why we've been doing all these deals in the market.
That's beautiful. Thanks for sharing those wins with us. Definitely a bundle. So
yeah, cool. Definitely a bundle.
Very cool. Let's talk about the other side of that. So we talk about wins, and then there's a lot of things that happen along the way that may be considered failures. And I mean, failures is just part of life. Some people don't like to talk about it. Some people learn from it and move forward. So I wanted to ask you if you could share with us at a high level a recent failure and your takeaway from it after you got through it and went to the other side.
It's relatively easy to fall in love with your own ideas of things that you think will make the customer happy, and you find out after you actually work on that feature and launch it and get real customer feedback that the things that you believe are going to be awesome things for the customer may not be awesome at all in the eyes of the customer, and the customer may not necessarily want all that complexity and just want to keep things simple. So there's a recent example of that where we worked on an idea, and we thought that this is something that the customers would really like, and we launched it and spent quite a bit of energy on it, and then we sent it out, and then there wasn't that much action, and we started asking customers like, so why haven't you used it yet? And there's the reaction is like, well, I've been using Veem for the things that I like, and this is something that's like advanced features that I'm not ready for. So it just gives you an idea that it's important that whenever we are working on things that are important for the customer, to make sure that we validate with the customer that it's actually important to them, and keeping the internal agendas and focuses in sync with the customer's need. And more important, it's not that it's the need is not there, it's just that the priority of that need is just not there yet. It's like down the road, not exactly today. So timing of it was not exactly the best either.
Got it. Thank you very much for bringing that forth. That way we could see that on the other side of success, there's things that you had to work through to get to that part. So that's really neat. Let's talk about thought leadership. So I would love to hear your point of view as a thought leader. If when you look at somebody else and you go, hey, this person's a great thought leader, what are the top 3 things that you immediately make an observation of? Like, okay, there's 1, 2, 3. That's why they're a great thought leader. What would that be for you?
I think number 1 would be vision, having a different vision than what you typically see in the market. So that would be like number 1. Number 2, I'd say insights from data that are different from, again, what you see in the market. Generally, some folks have access to data and they see the data in a different way than the typical market. So that's like something that's really interesting. And third, I would say that like a view on why existing patterns are going to change. So sometimes what happens, you hear a lot of people that say like I think in 22 or like 5 years from now, this is going to be a big thing. And it's going to be very different from the past, but the connecting dots are not there. It's like, so why would the pattern reverse from previous trend to the new trend that we're talking about? So it's a combination of the vision and insights from data and the ability to articulate a point of view why the pattern in the past is going to reverse and get into a new pattern.
That's really interesting. I love your point of view on that because I don't think I've heard anything close to that before. So awesome stuff.
Thank you.
Of course. Let's talk about company culture. I know you have an amazing company culture and it's humming. What do you think are the top three things from your experience that help a company have an awesome culture?
We like to hire folks that are from all walks of life, different backgrounds, different cultures, different ways of doing things. We like that diversity. Because we're doing global payments, we learned that it's important to actually hire people that have experienced the world from their own angles. And so we actually look for people that have lived in different parts of the world and have different languages and different ways of doing things. So that's a key part. The other thing that I would use to describe the culture, we're data oriented or data, I wouldn't say data driven, but definitely data guided. Like we definitely look at data a lot to understand how to make decisions. We're pretty straightforward in our culture in that we like some level of candor and kind of what you said. If things are working, do more of it. If it's not working, it's no big deal. Like it's part of being in a growing company that not everything is going to work out. So as long as the ratio of wins is higher than losses, we're in good shape. So we actually don't mind it if things don't work out. Just let's learn from them so that the next iteration of it we end up learning from.
That's awesome. I love what you said because I've had a lot of VCs on here and PEs as well. And they're like, hey, as long as, if 80% of the money I invest doesn't work out, but 20% of it does, I'm expecting a huge return. So it's the same when business and in different facets as well. That's really great. Let's talk about keep this high level. So tell me about one of your biggest, I know you talked about wins a second ago as a bundle, but if you could point your finger to one single win that had the biggest impact to your business, what would that be? Like take 30 seconds to 1 minute. What was that like? And what was the biggest, the contributor to making you hit that win, so to speak?
Recent one, just like something that happened recently.
Yes.
I'd say, in payments, a lot of the industry is oriented to the sender. So the sender sends money. Generally, banks and fintechs don't have the two sides of the market, the payer and the payee. One thing that's unique about Veem is actually having both the payer and the payee on the platform. So what you end up doing is you end up organizing around features and functionality that's influential for both, that's important for both. The thing that's interesting is I am surprised how sometimes the thinking in the market ends up being so payer-centric and you forget that the receiver is actually the one that has bigger needs. And so we've did quite a bit of work recently to put value to the receiver to make sure that the receiver is as active as the sender on the platform. So things like the ability to create an invoice, create a request, bundle foreign exchange with the invoice, bundle the ability to collect on a credit card and send a pay link, the ability to integrate working capital and lines of credit into the invoice. All that is receiver-based functionality that generally the market ignores because generally the market is sender-centric. And when you find out in the market, and the reason why it's like that, historically, there's this point of view in the market that because the sender is sending the money, the sender has all the power, so to speak. And so a lot of the functionality is aimed at that side of the market. I actually think that's a little bit of an old-fashioned point of view. I think the better way to think of the market is you have customers, they have different needs. You got to organize a system to tailor to the different needs of the participants on the network. Otherwise, you won't have a growing business. You'll just be one-sided. I think you'll see more growth when you have two sides equally participating, equally active on the network.
Awesome. Thanks for sharing that with us.
You're welcome.
So here we are at the end. If you could give out your social handles and your website address, because the audience has had a good opportunity to find out more about you, more about your business. And at this point, they're like, hey, I want to check out who he is, and follow him on the web and follow up with you with some questions. So if you want to take this opportunity to give out your website address and social handles, that would be great.
Yeah, so the website is Veem, VEEM.com. And the social handle is @GoVeem on Twitter, and we're on LinkedIn as well. My personal handles are Forzley on FORZLEY on Twitter, and I'm fairly active on LinkedIn. If you find my name, you'll see me, and we can connect and continue the conversation.
Excellent. So here we are at the final end. If you could give us your one word close and tell us why you're choosing to sign off with us, that would be awesome.
It's like insights into the future of the market.
I love it. I just wanted to personally say thank you very much for this meaningful conversation. I've had the pleasure of now, like I say, I've had you on my show, so I appreciate that. And then let's catch up in the future and see what you're up to.
Thank you. Thanks for your time.